today I'm going to be doing my first video for my Glam Tips series, and I posted a video for the introduction of basically explaining what it is I'm going to do with this series, and I showed you guys some magazines and books that will kind of help you guys get familiar with makeup if you're not familiar, or will help you kind of learn some more tips and tricks along the way. And I told you that you guys needed to practice, which makes perfect. And so before I start doing tips and tricks like in depth with detail for eyeshadows and blushes and whatnot, I feel like the very first video should be the basic tools that you need to create any look, whether it's a natural look or a dramatic look. So I'm going to show you some brushes. I have different brands of brushes because I don't stick to one, but if you would like to stick to one brand, either MAC, Coastal Scents, Sigma, or Eco Tools, or whatever brand, Smashbox, that's totally up to you. It's depending on how much you're willing to spend per brush, because I know they can get expensive. So for the first brush that I'm going to show you, I think that you need one, maybe possibly two, but it's not really that big of a deal. And the first brush is going to be an eyeshadow brush. Now you can get something similar to this one. This is the MAC 252. It's a flat shader brush which picks up color a lot better than a fluffy crease, not a fluffy crease brush, but a fluffy eyeshadow brush like this one here. This one's a little bit bigger and it's a little bit fluffier. This one picks up color, packs it on the lid very nicely. So if that's something that you're wanting, you can get the MAC 252. I also have one very similar, and this is the white one, is the Sonia Kashuk, so very similar to the 252. But I feel like you only need one brush. You can use one side to pick up light shades, flip it to the other side and pick up darker shades, or you could just wipe it on a towel and move on to your next color. See, as far as like the proportion, as far as the brush size, it is fairly decent size on my eyes. If you have smaller eyes, you can do the smaller eyeshadow brush by Sonia Kashuk, and this one's just a little dirty, but as you can see, it's definitely much smaller, and it's perfect for smaller eyes. And then I have another brush from them, but it's something like this. It's a fluffier, and it's just a lot bigger. See how big it is compared to my eye. So this is one that, just to show you, but you can either do one that's like this or the flat shader brush style. Then that's totally up to you what you prefer. Then for your crease brush, I feel like you need two brushes. You need one that you can use to apply color in your crease, whether it's a light neutral shade or a dark, brown, or a dark gray or black. And then I feel like you need a second one that you keep on the side as reserve to kind of just clean up around the edges and kind of blend out some looks without adding extra color. Now I have three different types of crease brushes. Some are a little bit thinner, fluffier, and then some are a lot fluffier than the others. This first one is just one from Smashbox. As you can see, it is very big and fluffy. It's also it takes up a lot of my crease space, so it's easy just to kind of blend this out. This is one that I have. A big fluffy one like this is perfect for blending out once you apply your crease color in. Then the next one is going to be a 226 style brush. It's a little bit smaller and a little bit more tapered. And then you have a 222 style brush, which is like a fluffy, really soft, kind of fluffy dome brush that you can use. And this is perfect. I use this a lot in my tutorials. So depending, if you have smaller eyes, I would go with the 226 style brush from MAC. I have, this one is an SS226 from Sigma. They've changed the numbering, so I don't really know. It's like, E20, E10, whatever. E is for the eyes and so forth. But the smaller the brush, the easier it is to apply in your crease if you have small eyes, and then you need either one of these two to kind of blend out the look. Then for eyeliner, if you do not like to use gel liners or cream liners, then you can just stick with a pencil and use different color pencil eyeliners, and you don't need a brush for this. But if you do like to use eyeliners, whether you're using an eyeshadow for a liner or gel or cream, you need some type of brush. Now there's two types of eyeliner brushes. You can get a small angled eyeliner brush like this one. This is an actual brow brush, but I feel like it gives me a little bit more control and precision with the line, and I use this a lot in tutorials. So you can either use like an angled one like this, or one that is supposed to make eyelining easier, and it's a bent angled eyeliner brush. And some people think it's just broken, but it's not. It's supposed to be easy for you just to glide right across the eye and just apply that shade. I don't really use the angled, the bent ones like this too much. I stick to the this style here. So you only need one. You can choose which two that you'd like to use. And that's basically the basics for the eye brushes. Now, going on to the face brushes, if you do not use powder foundation, whether it's mineral or pressed, and obviously then that means that you either use a cream or a liquid, you need a foundation brush. Now this is the 190 or 190 style brush, and as you can see, it's kind of comes to a point. It's super soft. This is the one from Sigma. And Sigma makes some really affordable brushes. You can get a face kit for I think $40 some. I ordered one last year and it was $39, so they've gone up a couple dollars, but they're very great quality brushes and they're very cheap. They are very close to MAC brushes without the price tag, so if that helps you guys make a decision on which type of brush. But if you like creams or liquid foundation, you need a foundation brush. Now for concealer, I use my finger because I feel like with the warmth of my finger, it kind of blends it in and kind of molds it into my skin, and I can press it in there very nicely and it works fine for me. And a lot of people use their finger, but if you choose not to use your finger, you can get a concealer brush like this one here. And it's very small. It gets right in the inner corners and is perfect for the outer corners, so it works. I just like to use my finger. Now, if you do not use liquid or cream foundations, you do not need to buy a foundation brush. You just need to get a powdered brush. And this is like the 150 style brush, and it's a really big fluffy one. You can get a paddle style brush, which is going to be a little bit more pinched here, but that's really, you know, not necessary. You can get this one. I also have a powder brush from Sigma, not Sigma, but this is Sonia Kashuk, and this was probably like 12 bucks. So it just depends on what brand you want. But you need one like this to apply powder. You can also use this very lightly to dip it into your bronzer and kind of do the 3 motion where the sun will naturally hit you, so you don't have to have an additional separate brush for bronzer. You just need to wipe it down. So yeah, if you do not use cream or liquid, do not buy the foundation brush. It's not a brush that you need. It's just an added expense. Save that money and use it towards a nice fluffy powder brush. Now for blushes. Now there are 2 style brushes for blushes. I didn't mess that up. I thought I would. You can get one that's a little bit rounded, that looks like a mini size powder brush, and this is again one from Sonia Kashuk. You can get this at Target for a couple bucks. Or you can get the 168 style, which is just an angled brush here. This one is good for blush, and you can wipe it down and use it as your contour because it's small and angled and it gives you that precision. The rounded ones it's kind of more, you know, more space that it covers on your face, so it's going to apply a little bit more. You can always just smile and then just kind of lightly feather it, and it won't be all over your face. But it's up to you. Again, this is optional, whether you get angled or a round. It's just your choice, your preference. And then for your brows, so we've covered everything: eyes, face, cheeks, and brows. Now you need a brow comb. This is one that I've had for a long time, probably like 2 years now. This is also from Sonia Kashuk. It's double. It's got a lash comb, which I do not use, but I use this brow comb here to kind of comb my brows into place. And if you use a brow pencil, then you don't need to use this brush. It's fine. You could just use your finger to kind of push them into place. If you have a little bit some brows that are kind of a little bit wild, you need this side of the brush. If you are like me and you apply powder, or that's your preference to apply powder for your brows to fill them in, you do need an angled brow brush. Now this is again another one. This is a white handle. It's from Sonia Kashuk. I have a lot of her brushes. They're really great quality. They don't, I mean, they've shed a couple times, but that's normal for new brushes. They'll shed just a little bit. But this it's perfect for doing brows. I've showed you in a tutorial how I do my brows using this brush. And you also need a good pair of tweezers. Now, I will be doing a video about brows, so you will see this again, but this is just a Revlon. It's an angled one. You can get one of the ones that are kind of pointed, like a needle point, but I feel like the angled ones are a little bit better. So that's it. Now for lips, if you do not like to apply your lipstick directly from the tube or the lip gloss with the wand that comes with it, then you need a lip brush. I don't really have a lip brush per se. I mean, I have like this little tiny detailer brush from Coastal Scent that was like $1 that I use for my lip products. But that's also another brush that's not really necessary. I do have a lot of other brushes that I use for different things, but these are just the basics that I feel like are essential to creating any look. Like I said in the beginning, whether it's a natural look or a dramatic look, you need the proper brushes to create those looks. And so I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them below the video as usual. Also, I have a form spring. If you have any questions or comments or anything, you can also leave them on there. I check that kind of regularly. Oh, before I cut this video off, I wanted to show you just kind of a little neat trick to kind of store your brushes or kind of keep them nice and neat. I have this little clear vase that you can get at a craft store, you can get at Walmart, Target, and I have beanbag fill on the inside. There's just these little clear beads, and I use these to keep my brushes standing up. I have like several of these, and when I do my video for how I store my makeup, you will see how many little containers with brushes I have in them. But this is how I store them. They stand up very easily, and you could just keep all your brushes in here. If you just stick to the basic brushes that I showed you, you only need probably one of these. But when you get into doing more dramatic looks, you'll have tons of them like myself. I have 4 containers full of brushes, and this can hold a whole lot more brushes, but this is just kind of like the Sephora inspired, because they have their brushes in like these little clear, tiny little plastic, beads. So this is just beanbag fill, like I said, and this is a great way to store them. I keep them upright. Yeah, sometimes it can collect a little dust, so you need to make sure that you clean your brushes regularly. So yeah, I hope that this video was helpful, and if you have any questions, again, leave them below the video, and I will see you guys for our next glam tip. Bye.